We streamlined up when we just came back from Chicago, Illinois, preaching a lectureship, and God has really blessed us.
Amen.
And so I'm not going to hold you up, but I'm so excited today that to be able to preach this sermon.
All right.
Now,
yes.
This message is derived from, I was at work the other day, and I was in a part of town where I used to work for AT&T, and I passed an old building about 20 years ago that I worked when I first started in this industry of the internet and telecom. And so when I saw the building, I remembered my training. And I remembered what I had to go through to get the job.
All right.
And so there was one instance to where we were in our training, and there was one part of our training that we had to pass, and we had to take a 24-foot ladder. And that's the kind that you pick up and stretch out.
Okay.
And so, they put it on the side of a very tall building. Okay. And they said we had to climb all the way to the top. And it was about a foot from the very top of the building.
Okay.
And now, I remember when my father would have a ladder out and he would get on the roof. And I would climb up a little bit on that little 6-foot ladder, Larry. And I'd be extremely nervous on a 6-foot ladder. And now they're asking that same person to go up not 6 feet, but 24 feet. And so, but if I want the job, I'm going to have to go up this 24-foot ladder upside this building.
Yeah.
But they had someone at the bottom of the ladder standing on the ladder. Okay? And so there are different safety things that you have to do in order to make your job safe so you don't get hurt.
Right.
And so as I began to climb up the ladder, and everybody said, don't look down. Okay? And now that's the first thing you do is look down. But, and so I had my mind set on, I'm not going to look down. And I began to go up that ladder. And my goal was to get to the top of that ladder. And of course I'm praying on the way up, Lord, don't let me fall. Lord, don't let me fall. And as I got maybe 3/4 of the way, I'm way up in the air now.
All right.
And one thing crossed my mind. Now, somebody is holding the foundation of that ladder.
Come on, preacher. All right. All right.
2, I'm all right. The ladder is not moving. It's not shaking. Okay. So, in my mind, to help me keep going, climbing on up, I said to myself, now, if I don't jump off the ladder,
I'll make it.
I'll make it.
That's it.
If I don't jump off, the only way I'm going to fall unless I jump off.
That's right.
And so I went on to the top and was able to come back down.
Come on now.
And I thought about that as I passed that building. Sometimes we go up and we go into uncharted territory.
All right.
We don't know what life has in store for us.
That's right.
But we have to keep on climbing up. We've been so used to going up 6 feet. But now God is requiring us to go on up 24 feet.
Come on,
keep on climbing higher.
Yeah.
We are stuck on 6 foot.
Yeah.
And we got to learn to shake off some of our anxieties. We got to learn to move forward.
Come on, preacher.
Some of us are like one of the other people, this young lady that was trying to get the job.
All right.
And so she had to go up that same ladder that I had to climb. And she got halfway and stopped. She got halfway and she froze on that ladder.
All right, yeah.
And some of us are froze on that ladder.
Yeah.
Some of us in life, we have frozen.
Yeah.
We are not moving. We in that position Do I keep on climbing or do I go back down?
Yeah. Come on now.
And so, but eventually, she came out of that state of mind and began to climb.
All right.
Sometimes it's all right. Sometimes you're going to get stuck.
Yeah.
But just keep on climbing.
Yes, sir.
You done gone too far to go down now.
Yeah.
Just keep on going so you can see what the end is going to be.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
When we look at our text, I'm going to ask Larry, you give me a cup of water, please. When we look at our text, in Acts 27, and beginning at we're going to begin at verse number 20.
Okay.
And Brother Larry done a fine job of reading our text and taking us to God in prayer.
Yes, sir.
But for emphasis' sake, let's say that I will give you a subject that ties in with our introduction.
All right.
Paul is on a ship.
All right.
And a great storm came up. I'm in Acts chapter 27, beginning at verse number 20. Acts 27, beginning at verse number 20.
Preach.
And there was a great storm that came up. Paul had already told the men, let's don't go on this journey.
Yes, sir.
But Paul was a prisoner. And of course, Paul didn't have any say-so. But Paul told them, let's not go on this journey. Let's wait until a better time to take this journey, on the sea.
Yes.
And so we pick up our story there. In verse number 20. Now, when neither the sun nor stars appeared. Now, they're on the ship and about to go through something.
Yes.
He says, and when neither the sun nor stars appear. That means when they are sailing at night.
Yes.
They can't follow the moon or the stars for navigation.
Yes.
Paul said that this storm was so bad that it covered the moon and the stars. It was pitch black. I know sometimes we seem as we climb that it seems that I can't get ahead in life.
Yes.
I can't get the job that I want.
Yes.
I can't find a spouse that I need.
Yes.
My kids, my church family. Seem like in this part of life, it's always something that seems like it's darkening your life.
Yes, sir.
And it seems as if there are no stars, a moon, nothing to guide you in the dark.
Yes.
And sometimes it makes us feel like we want to give up and climb back down. But we got to hold on to God's unchanging hand.
Right.
And Paul says there were neither sun nor stars.
Yes, sir.
Appeared, that means that Paul is saying that even in the daytime, it was dark.
Yes.
We couldn't even see, the storm was so bad in the daytime that we couldn't see the sun.
Yes.
And we couldn't see the stars at night.
Yes.
So you ever felt like you was in the dark all the time?
Yes, sir.
He says, and no small tempest beat upon us. That means that we never had a break from the storm.
Yes.
He says, and our hope that we would be saved was finally given up. You ever got to a point where you said, I might as well go on and mess up because it don't seem like it's going to clean up.
Yes.
But God wants you to go ahead and hold on to his unchanging hand.
Oh, yes.
But then Paul says, but after long absence from food, then Paul stood in the midst of them and said, men, you have listened to me. He says, you should have listened to me.
Yes.
And not have sailed to Crete.
Yes.
And incurred this disaster and loss.
Yes.
He says, and now I urge you to take heart. He says, for there will be no loss of life among you, but only of the ship.
Yes.
Paul, I had took you on up a little bit higher.
Come on now.
I could have told you that Paul, as they began to travel on that ship, and the storm of life, they began to throw stuff off the ship. They began to try to lighten up the boat, lighten up the load.
Yes.
Sometimes when you're going through something, you got to lighten the load.
Yes.
There's some things that you're carrying that you're going to have to lighten the load because you're going through a storm. And that weight is holding you down.
Yes.
Listen, church. Paul says, I told him, don't take heart.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
See, I'm telling you this morning, don't worry about what you're going through.
Yeah.
As long as you hold it on to God's unchanging hand.
Yeah.
Verse number 23. Paul says, for there stood by me this night an angel of God, to whom I believe and whom I serve.
Yeah.
He says, saying, do not be afraid, Paul. You must be brought before Caesar. Wait a minute now. Somebody, I want you to get this now. God sent an angel.
All right.
And I believe it may have been Jesus himself.
Yes, sir.
Came down and said, Paul, don't worry about it. I know you're in a storm.
Yes, sir.
And I know you guys have done everything that you could
Come on, preacher.
to try to save yourself.
All right.
And I know that now you have given up. He said, but you're going to be all right.
Yeah.
He said, you're going to be all right.
Yeah.
He said, because you have a meeting with Caesar.
Come on.
In other words, God, even though Paul is in this storm,
Yeah.
Lord.
God is letting Paul know, I got a mission for you.
Come
Yeah.
on, preacher.
Don't worry about this storm.
Yeah.
I got something else for you to do on the other side of this storm.
Yeah.
You got a meeting with Caesar that I have scheduled. And you're going to make that meeting. Don't worry about the storm.
Yes.
The storm is just temporary.
Yeah.
The storm is just something that you got to go through.
Yeah.
He said, wait a minute now.
Yes,
He says in verse number 24, he says, saying, do not be afraid.
Yes.
You must be brought before Caesar.
All right.
And indeed, God has granted you all those who sail with you.
Yes.
So that means, listen, sometimes you help save the folks that with you.
Yeah.
Sometimes you help save the people that's around you.
Yeah.
You got to have somebody that's close to God.
Yes.
You remember that when the Bible says the effectual fervent prayers of a righteous man availeth much,
Yes.
that means somebody else can help you right.
Come on.
Yeah.
Somebody else can pray for you while you're going through the storm.
All right. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Sometimes you ain't got nothing to do with the storm.
Come
Yes,
on
sir.
now.
You don't have anything to do with the storm, but somebody else on the boat got a
on now.
connection with God.
Yeah.
That's why we need to learn to just be still
Yeah.
and go through our storm.
Yeah.
In verse number 25, are we getting that, church? I'm going to give y'all the subject in a minute.
Preach.
In verse number 25, he says, therefore, take heart. Men, for I believe God. In other words, sometimes we go through our storms, we give up on God. Paul says, now, I'm talking to an angel of God.
Yeah.
And this angel is telling me, you're going to be all right, Brother Paul. But while he's telling me, this boat is still in the storm. We still can't see. It's still dark. We still being tossed to and fro. Just because the angel showed up, the storm didn't stop. He just encouraged Paul to hang on in there in the storm.
Yes, sir.
He said, I believe God.
All right.
He said that it will be just as he told me.
Yes.
However, we must run aground on a certain island.
Yes.
Now, I want you to skip down to verse number 29. Verse number 29. Then, fearing lest we should run aground on the rocks, they dropped 4 anchors from the stern and prayed for the day to come.
All right.
And as the sailors were seeking to escape, wait a minute now. He said, now, Paul, everybody's going to be all right with you. But now you always got some folk that's going to do their own thing. And he says, you got some folks that's pretending to be letting down the anchors. But in reality, they letting down some boats.
Yeah.
All right now, y'all got to listen to this now. I think y'all missing this now. I think y'all missing this. He says, and as the sailors were seeking to escape from the ship, when they had let down the scuff unto the sea, under pretense to putting out the anchor from the prow. In other words, they act as if they were letting down the anchor, but they were actually letting down some folks to get off that ship. All right, but listen what Paul told. Paul said to the centurions and to the soldiers, unless these men stay in the ship,
Yeah.
you cannot be saved.
That's it. Amen.
Angel told Paul, said, now everybody that stay on the boat
That's it. Stay on the
is
ship.
going to be saved.
Yeah, yeah.
See, Paul says, if you get off this ship, the angel is with us.
Yeah.
The angel has told us we're going through this storm and I have a mission and you're going to be saved because of me.
Yeah.
And but there are those that want to jump ship.
Yeah.
And so Paul says, the angel told me, unless you stay on the ship,
Beautiful,
you
beautiful.
can't be saved.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Listen, church, this morning we're going to talk from the subject of don't jump ship.
Yeah. Amen.
Don't jump
Yeah,
ship.
that's it.
Sometimes we go through some hardships in life
Yes, sir.
and we get agitated and aggravated, and sometimes we say, this ain't worth it. But I'm telling you, don't jump ship. Stay on the boat. Stay with God because God is with you.
Yeah.
You got to stay. Most times people leave the church. That's jumping ship.
Yeah.
When they go through something and they decide, you know what, I don't need them church folk. I don't need this. I thought when I go to church, my bank account was going to go up. I thought all my problems was going to go away.
Yeah.
I may as well stay out in the world, but hold on in there. When you hang on to God,
Yeah.
you can see the spiritual results in your life.
Yeah.
Don't look at your life in a material way.
Yeah.
Look at your life in a spiritual way.
Yeah.
We judge God based on what we wear, where we live, and what we drive. But base God on his son, Jesus, who died that you might have the right to the tree of life.
Yeah.
Paul said, don't get off this boat.
Preach.
Don't jump ship. So I'm telling you now, church, I don't know what you're going through,
Preaching, brother.
but don't jump ship.
Preach.
You haven't went anything through
Yes.
anything
Yes,
like
sir.
Job went through.
All right.
You remember Job. He didn't jump ship. When all that he had gone through and all that he went through. And have you ever lost all your kids? Now, I know I'm looking at those on Facebook, and you may have lost a child, but have you lost all your children?
Yeah.
Have you lost all your money?
Yeah.
Have you lost all your wealth?
Yeah.
Have you lost your health?
Yeah.
Have you, the woman that's supposed to be by your side, asked you to curse God and die?
Yeah.
But Job said, woman, you talk like a foolish woman. You
Oh,
think
yeah.
I'm crazy enough to jump ship? I'm not jumping ship.
Yeah.
Job says that, he says, do you think we're just going to get good things in life and never receive any bad things in life?
Yeah.
Listen, Job was one of those preachers that said, look, I'm not giving up on God.
Yeah.
I'm not letting God go.
Yeah.
Why, Job? Because the devil, see, some of us got to understand
All right,
something.
then.
The devil wants you to jump ship.
Ship. Yes, sir.
See, when you jump, see, let me tell you something. When you get out in that ocean, and even though that water may be temperate,
Yes.
and even though the wind may be boisterous,
Yeah.
if you got Jesus on board,
Yeah.
you don't have anything to worry about.
Amen.
You remember when the men were with Jesus on the ship, and Jesus was in the bottom of the boat sleeping.
Yeah.
And the Bible said a great storm came up.
Yeah.
And water began to fill the boat.
Yeah.
And then they went down and said, Lord, do you care if we perish?
Yes,
And
sir.
Jesus said, oh ye of little faith.
Yes.
He says, and they went up to the boat and said, peace,
Yes.
be still.
Yeah.
Lord.
And the Bible said there was a great calm, not just calm. See,
Great calm.
not just calm.
Yeah.
See, there's a difference between calm
Amen.
and a great calm.
Yes.
Yeah, God that made nature
Yes.
get completely silent.
Yes.
God made everything around
Yes,
him
sir.
quit talking.
Yes.
That's a great calm.
Yes, sir.
When it's above being
Come
calm.
on, preacher.
Yes.
And so I'm trying to tell you, church, all you got to do is make sure Jesus is on board.
Yeah.
You remember when David said, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death,
Yeah.
I fear no evil,
Yeah.
because thou art with me.
Yeah.
Thy rod, thy staff,
Yeah.
thou comfort me.
Yeah.
Listen, when you got a God that got a big stick, you ain't got nothing to be worried about.
Right.
When you got a God with a big stick,
Yes,
you ain't got nothing to be
Yes, sir.
worried about.
Yes.
Then, because I want you to to know some churches.
Yes,
The
Lord.
devil always wants you to jump ship.
Yes.
See, now, when you're in the ship, I want you, when you're going through your storm, just like when I was on that ladder, I had to realize, as nervous as I was, that the ladder is not moving. I'm all right.
Yeah.
It's not shaking. I'm all right.
Yeah.
The people that's at the bottom that's holding the ladder, they still holding the ladder.
Yeah.
And if I don't jump off the ladder, I'll be all right.
Yeah. That's right.
If you don't jump off the boat.
Yeah.
Long as the boat is still together,
Yeah.
stay on the boat.
Stay on the boat.
See, you think when you jump off the boat, you're going to be safe.
Yes.
But you jumping off the boat into the storm.
Yeah.
What do you think that's giving the boat so much problem? The storm is what's giving the boat the problem.
Yeah.
So now you jump out the boat into the storm.
Yeah. Yeah.
But not only that,
Yes. Yeah.
there's sharks in the water.
Yeah.
See, when you get out the comfort of God, when you walk out of the church, see, now you out in the storm.
Yeah.
And ain't nothing but sharks in the world.
Yeah.
See, Job says that one day all the sons of God came together. I'm in Job chapter 1. And Satan came to the meeting. See, devil is always around. He's always trying to get you to see the negative.
Yeah.
He's always trying to say, man, you should go to church. You ain't got no better off. Things are not better for you. Just keep holding on to God's unchanging hand.
Yes, sir.
Now, but in Job 1 and verse 7, Job chapter 1 and verse 7, and the Lord said to Satan, from where do you come from? And so Satan answered the Lord and said, from going to and fro on the earth, and from walking back and forth.
Yes.
Listen, man, when you think about it, you got a devil. When you got a devil, you can't even walk down to the store. Trayvon Martin couldn't even walk to the store without that devil. All right, now I know some folks that don't like me. He couldn't even walk to the store without a devil walking behind. You can't even walk around. The devil says, I'm going to and fro, up and down the earth. You think he done stop? He's still walking.
Yes, sir.
To and fro. He's always dangling something in front of you to make you feel like the life would be better without. The life would be better without God and with Him.
Amen.
Listen, you remember when he tried to do Jesus that way. See, the devil, he tried to get you at your weakest point. You remember the Bible says that Jesus had been in the wilderness for 40 days and 40 nights. Listen, without food and without water. I can't imagine going 40 days and 40 nights in the wilderness. In the wilderness. Some of us can't go 40 minutes without eating. Jesus went 40 days. Man, can you imagine the devil coming to you at your weakest moment? We lose our job, we get weak. Any little thing pop up, we get weak and ready to go back out in the world. Jesus went 40 days and 40 nights. And then the Bible said that the devil came to tempt him and told him, said, now why don't you make these stones turn to bread? And Jesus said to him, thou shalt not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceeded out of the mouth of God. Listen, church, Jesus' point was we have to be more spiritual in our life. Don't jump ship. There was a man by the name of Demas, who one of the saddest Bible verses in the Bible. And 2 Timothy chapter 4 and verse 10. When Paul was in prison and for the last time and about to be beheaded according to history. And Demas, Paul said that Demas forsaken me and went back to this present world. Demas jumped ship and went back out into the world. But at one point, Paul in Colossians 4 and 14, Colossians 4 and 14, Paul said Demas was with them. And Paul, when he wrote to the church at Colossae, he even sent the letter and said, myself and Luke and Demas send you greetings. Demas was one of those that walked with Paul. But then Paul says he left Lord.
Yes,
But
sir.
then when we get to 2 Timothy, Paul said,
Come on,
Demas,
preacher.
jump ship,
Yes.
and went back to the world. Church, what am I telling you? Don't jump ship.
Yes, sir.
Don't quit. Don't jump ship, church. The things going to be hard in our lives.
Yes.
But don't jump ship. There are times that it just seemed like Pam and I, last year we went on a cruise. And we were on a big ship. And one of the things that we were worried about, if we were going to get sick on that ship.
Yeah.
And I was like, Lord, please don't let me get sick on this ship. Because we spent too much money to be sick. We could have spent our time in the bed at the house.
Yeah.
And but we didn't get sick.
All right.
And it didn't make any sense as we were walking around the edge of the boat, of the ship. And it would be crazy to jump off.
Yeah.
About early this month, I don't know if you saw it on the news where this man got drunk, got tipsy, and his friends on a big ship, cruise ship, encouraged him to jump off that ship. A smooth running ship. Now, why would you jump off the ship into the ocean? It made no sense. Man jumped off a perfectly good boat. But then, see, that's the things you can do. But then, when the man jumped off and when the police got him, the Carnival Cruise people said, you and your friends are banned for life. You that dumb to jump off this perfectly good ship.
Yeah.
You can't never get back on our ship no more. You dumb to stay on the ship. Ain't nothing in the water. Huh?
What danger?
There's danger in the water.
Yes, sir.
But listen, I'm going to tell you something else. Don't let anybody else throw you off the ship.
Amen. Yeah.
Be sound in your faith.
Yes.
Don't let outside influences of the world pull you back into the word.
Yes.
Because we go back because it's easy for us.
Yes.
It's comfortable for us.
Yes.
But it's more difficult at first when you come into the house of God.
Yes.
But if you stay with God, see, you got to come into the house of God for the right reason.
Amen.
To serve God.
Yes, sir.
You see, some of us think that we come to church so God can serve us. But we come so we can serve God.
Amen.
That's what the world has gotten turned around. Job's wife trying to make him jump ship. Don't let nobody cause you to jump ship.
Yes.
When you think about it, Job wrote in Job 14 and verse 1. Job 14 and verse 1. Job is letting us know that as long as you live, you're going to go through something.
Yes.
You're going to go through some heartache.
Yes.
You're going to go through some pain.
Yes.
Job, sometimes we think we're the only people. Why, Lord? Why is it happening to me?
Come on now.
But Job said a man who is born of a woman.
Yes.
Wait a minute. Is you born of something else?
Yes. Yes.
Job said a man that is born of a woman is a few days and full of trouble.
Yes.
Job said, you're going to go through some trouble in this lifetime. You
Yes.
might as well get ready for it. Some
Yes.
trouble. If you're born of a woman, you're going to have some trouble in this lifetime.
Yes.
But in verse 14 of that same text, Job says, if a man die, shall he live again? Well, I'm trying to tell you, Job said, don't jump ship.
Yes.
If you want to live again, don't jump ship. And he said, if a man die, shall he live again? All the days of my hard service. I like the way I like the way this version, now the King James said, all the days of my appointed time.
Yes, sir.
But I like this now. I like this version because the NIV, not the NIV, I'm sorry, the English Contemporary Version, he says, if a man die, shall he live again?
Yes.
All the days of my hard service. I told you, we are here to serve God.
Yes.
He said, my service.
Yes, sir.
He said, I'm going to wait
Yes,
till my change comes.
Yes, sir.
Man, last night, Elvin, I went to the fight. And as my wife and I was getting to the stadium, and people everywhere, packed everywhere, people all down just trying to get you to park in all kind of parking lots. There's not a parking lot for parking, but for that person, that store.
Yeah.
And I told my wife, I said, no, I'm not, $30. And I said, oh, if it's $30 out here, ain't no telling what it's going to be like up there at the stadium. And so we got to the stadium. I said, Pam, I'm parking in the stadium. I don't care how much you come. And the woman says, now if you use your card, it's $50. If you use cash, it's $55. I said, boy, that Jerry Jones made some money tonight. I said, make some money tonight. And so I gave the woman $100 bill. And you know I waited on my change, like Job said. I'm going to wait till my change comes. Now, there's people all behind me waiting to get in the parking lot. But I'm going to wait till my change comes. And I'm telling you, you got to wait till your change comes. Don't worry about who's behind you, pushing on you to get out the way, to get back into the world, to wait on God. Some folks don't want you to wait on God. Some folks don't say, man, listen, woman, listen. Why are you waiting on God? Why are you sitting around with them church folk? Things ain't got no better. You got to say, I'm going to wait. I put in the time. I'm going to wait till my change comes. I'm going to wait on my change.
Yes, sir.
My change is valuable. That's my change. I'm not giving my change away.
Yes, sir.
I'm not going to let you keep my change. I'm going to let that woman keep my $45. I'm going to wait on my change. That's my change. I'm waiting on my change to come.
Glory to God.
Then I gave it to Pam. I said, Pam, before I even pull it off, I said, count it. Make sure that woman gave me the correct change. Listen, when you get with God, watch you count your change. Watch how God starts sending you your blessing. And you start counting your change. God will fix it where you can start counting your change. The changes in your life, every part of your life will get better. See, when you dealing with devil, don't nothing change. Everything is the same. Everything's the same. He don't never give you no change back. He just take from you. You don't ever get anything back from the devil.
No, sir.
He make you think it's good.
Yes.
But then, as I get ready to close, I think about Jeremiah.
Preaching, Brother James.
I think about Jeremiah. Church, listen.
Yes, sir.
There's some times, I want y'all to turn with me to Jeremiah chapter 20. There's some times in your life that you're going to be downtrodden. There's some times in your life you're going to be on your sick bed. There's some times in your life that you're going to feel that you're all alone. There's some times in your life that you just going to feel like giving up and quitting and jumping ship.
Yes, sir.
But I know Jeremiah felt that way at one time.
Yes, sir.
In Jeremiah chapter 20, and Jeremiah 20, verse number 9. Jeremiah made a statement that's dangerous. But Jeremiah fixed it. Because God had originally told Jeremiah, when God gave Jeremiah this project to go down and preach. Jeremiah didn't know it was going to be that bad. Jeremiah thought it was going to be easy to go down and preach to these folks. But Jeremiah, he found out that these people ridiculed him and beat him up in so many words. And Jeremiah became discouraged. This prophet, this preacher of God became discouraged. And in verse number 9, we're going to start at verse 8. In verse 8, Jeremiah said, for when I spoke, I cried out, I shouted violence and plunder, because the words of the Lord was made to me a reproach and a daily. Paul is saying, it was upon me daily, a reproach. In other words, Paul is saying, I feel ridiculed for preaching God's word. I feel kicked down and knocked down for preaching God's word. And then Jeremiah said, then I said, sometimes it ain't good to talk to yourself. Sometimes when I'm on my job and people around, and there are some things that are so technical when I go on this job with no instructions and just my mind and experience. And I got to figure it out. And sometimes I say, all right, now Smith, now that go with that, and Smith, now that, so somebody may say, wait a minute, I'm not crazy, but I got to talk to myself just to figure this out. Sometimes you got to be careful in talking to yourself.
Yeah.
You can talk yourself if you don't know how to. I know how to talk to myself and be positive. See, I know how to talk to myself.
Yeah.
Sometimes you can talk to yourself in a negative and cause yourself to be in a position of mind that's not good. Jeremiah got in a position of mind that wasn't good. Jeremiah said, then I said, there you go, Jeremiah.
All right.
He says, I will not make mention of him. These people are ridiculing me. I'm not going to talk about God. I'm going to jump ship. Jeremiah said, then I said, I will make mention. I will not make mention of him. I'm going to get off this boat. Then Jeremiah said, nor speak anymore in his name. Yeah. Jeremiah was going out and said, I'm coming in the name of the Lord. Jeremiah said, I'm not talking about the Lord no more. I'm not saying I'm coming in the name of the Lord no more. Jeremiah said, I said, Jeremiah, you letting your conscience, you letting your mind, you letting your mouth get you in trouble. Yeah. But Jeremiah, are you going to jump ship? I want to know, Jeremiah, you're going to jump ship? But then Jeremiah said, no, speak anymore in his name. But then Jeremiah said, but.
Yeah, come on now.
So now you said, but.
Yes.
I'm not talking about the one you're sitting on.
Here comes the change.
I'm not talking about the one you're sitting on.
Come on now.
Yeah, that one might not change.
Yes, sir.
That one might not change.
Yes.
But in a sentence, when you say but, that means that the conversation is about to turn or twist. The subject is about to change. The conversation is about to change. Jeremiah said, I was on this. I said I'm not going to talk about God. I'm not going to mention his name. But then Jeremiah said, but.
Yes, sir. Beautiful.
He said, but his words were in my heart.
Yes.
Like a burning fire.
Yes.
Shut up in my bones.
Yes.
He said, I could not stay.
Yes.
Jeremiah said, I'm discouraged. I don't want to talk about the Lord no more. I feel like jumping ship. I don't want to talk about going to church no more. I feel like jumping ship. I don't want to be in this marriage no more. I feel like jumping ship. I don't feel like dealing with these kids no more. I feel like jumping ship. I don't like this job anymore. I feel like jumping ship. There are many people that stand out on when they've lost millions of dollars. Stand out on a building, on the ledge, and jump off because they didn't have anything else to fall back on. But Jeremiah said, I'm not jumping ship. He said, because why? Even though I don't want to talk about it, it's in my heart. It's a burning in my heart. He says, it's down off in my bones. You got something in your bones. You got to learn how to get God in your bones. See, when you get it in your bones, see, you don't mind getting up for service when you don't feel good. You don't mind keep on pushing when folks talk about you. Because it's in your bones. It's like a fire. Then wait a minute now, Larry. Then Jeremiah said, it's down in my bones. He said, I could not stay. In other words, Jeremiah says, the harder that I try not to talk about God, the more that fire goes up in my bones. He said, I can't hold it. Even if I want to hold it, I can't hold it. Sometimes there are times in our life that it don't matter how old you are. You're going to go through some stuff in life, and I don't know what your stuff may be. It may be the death of a loved one. And it don't matter how old you are. But I just want you to hold on to God's unchanging hand. Learn how to trust in God. See, you've been trusting in yourself, and that ain't got you nowhere. I want y'all to hear that now. You've been trusting in yourself, and that hadn't gotten you anywhere. Learn it's time to trust in the Lord. It's time to give everything to God. It's time that you increase your faith. How do, Brother Smith, as you close, how do I keep from jumping ship? How do I stay on the boat even though it's rocky? Listen, this is how you do it. You do it by faith. Hebrews 11 and verse number 1. I want y'all to get this now. Hebrews 11 and verse number 1. Now faith is the substance of things hoped for, and the evidence of things not seen. In other words, we keep on hoping. Our faith is hoping that one day things is going to change.
Yes.
And then you turn around and one day the things have changed. And you can't figure out how they changed.
Yes.
God fixed it.
Yes.
That's what
Yes.
faith is all about.
Yes.
You can't figure out how it got fixed.
Yes.
God didn't explain it to you. God didn't give you a manual. I remember there are times I've been on my job and been at a certain place and they were shut down. Everything was powered out. And I got it back up because I was praying.
Yeah.
And they asked me, what did you do to fix it? And I promise you, church, there are times I don't know what happened to fix it.
Yeah.
I don't know what I did. Maybe I kicked something. Maybe I bammed on something.
Yeah.
But I couldn't tell them folks what I did to fix it. But all I know, it was back up and running.
All right.
See, that's how God works.
Yes.
You don't know how it got fixed.
Yes.
All you know is back up and it's running.
Yes.
It's
Yes.
back up and it's running.
Yes.
Then I go through the office. This is one of the scenarios. And I said, you up? I'm up. Go to the next person. You up? I'm up. Go to the next person. You up? I'm up. We got to be, when you work with God, God, with the help of Jesus Christ, will pick you back up.
Yes.
And then when somebody come to you and
Yes,
say,
they will.
you up? Your system back up? My system is up.
Yes.
I'm up. See, we got to learn to appreciate God.
Amen.
We got to learn and trust God.
Yes.
Don't jump ship.
Amen.
Listen, as I go.
Yes,
You
Lord.
remember Abraham.
Yes.
God had told Abraham, I want you to go to a place.
Yes, Lord.
I'm not even going to tell you where to go. I just want you to start walking. That's faith. And so Abraham just got out with the people and they went on a journey.
Yes.
Not even knowing where they were going.
Yes.
And God put many tests upon Abraham. But this one particular test, I believe if that had been us, somebody might have jumped ship. And Abraham, God told Abraham, said, Abraham, I'm looking for a sacrifice. And I want you to sacrifice your only son, Isaac. Now, he did have another son by the name of Ishmael. But Ishmael was a son that came about by Abraham's wife Sarah trying to help him out by going into the handmaid. Because God had told her she was going to have a bouncing baby boy this time next year. But she still didn't believe God. So she had Abraham to go into the handmaid to have a little boy. That was Ishmael.
Yeah.
But he wasn't the one that was supposed to get the promise. Isaac is the one with the promise.
Yeah.
Because God had already given Abraham a promise. A land promise and a seed promise. That seed promise was going to start with Isaac.
Okay.
He said, through your seed, all nations is going to be blessed.
Yeah.
So you had Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob.
Yeah.
Then Jacob had 12 sons. And out of those 12 sons, you had Judah and David, which came the seed of Jesus. I missed that now. Did y'all get that now? Did y'all get that?
Yeah.
Now, if Isaac had died, then there would have been no Jesus to come to save us. Because God wouldn't have kept his seed promise. All right? Y'all with me so far? Y'all with me now?
Amen.
And so, but God had already told Abraham, I'm going to give you a son. But now I'm telling you to go and sacrifice that same son that I told you was going to be the seed promise.
Yeah.
That would have been a good time for Abraham to jump ship.
Yeah.
But Abraham, when he got up to the mountain, he told the servant that was with him and Isaac.
Yeah.
He said, stay here while me and the lad go up and come back down.
Yeah.
Wait a minute, Abraham. God said that your son was about to be a sacrifice. Wait a minute now, Brother Smith. But God also told me this same boy is going to be the seed promise.
That's it.
So God got to do something.
Yeah.
Even if he killed him,
Yeah.
he got to raise him up again.
Yeah.
Because he said he was going to be the seed
Yeah.
promise.
Yeah.
We can't get to Jesus without Isaac.
Amen.
And so Isaac, when he got it, and God, Abraham said, Lord, we got the wood and we got the fire. But where's the sacrifice?
Yeah.
He says, look, Isaac is a sacrifice. when he strapped him down. And he began to raise his knife to kill his son. The same person that God said, this is going to be the seed promise. The same little boy. He says, you're going to have a bouncing baby boy. Now I want you to kill him. So Abraham had the mindset, I'm going to have to kill him. I'm not going to jump ship. I got to kill him. And so when he raised his hand up, God said, wait a minute, hold your hand. He said, there's a ram in the thicket. There's a ram in the thicket. In other words, he said, now I know, Abraham, that you fear God. Now I know that you fear God. See, church, when you're going through something and you want to jump ship, have your mindset that God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believe in him should not perish, but have everlasting life. You go through something. Remember that. When Jesus said, let not your heart be troubled. If you believe in God, believe also in me. In my Father's house there's many mansions. If it wasn't so, I would have told you. I go to prepare a place for you. And if I go to prepare a place, I'll come again unto you. Then Thomas said, Lord, if we don't know where you're going, how are we going to know the way? He said, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No man comes to the Father but by me. You're going to go through something in this world. You're going to go through something in this world, church. Paul said, who shall separate us from the love of God? Said, tribulation or distress, persecution, famine, nakedness, perilous need. He said, we are led like sheep. Led like sheep to the slaughter. He said, but in all these things, we are more than conquerors through him that love us. For persuaded that neither death, nor life, nor angels, nor principalities, nor powers, nor things to come, nor height, nor depth, nor any other creature is going to be able to separate from the love of God, which is in Christ Jesus. So when you get ready to jump ship, when you get ready to jump ship, you remember the love of God. Now if you hear, you want to be added to the body of Christ. You come by hearing, believing, repenting, confessing, and going down that watery grave of baptism. When you won't join, you'll be added. In Acts 2 and verse number 47, we find that example when God said, having favor with all the people, and the Lord added to the church daily such as should be saved. The message is yours as we stand to sing in songs of invitation.
Yes, Lord.